JD Next at its core has really two components. One is an online course that students take that gives them experience in reading law school cases and developing the skills at finding the issues, understanding the law, making analogies to future cases through a very structured, formative experience that most students do over 7 or 8 weeks part-time. And then it's also an exam consisting of multiple choice questions and essays that look a lot like a first-year law school exam, where we actually see how well students have been able to learn the material that we taught in this highly supportive environment. You can have people from high-income areas and low-income areas. So we started by taking some undergraduate material that we created as part of the first bachelor's degree in law and thought, what if we exposed all our incoming students to this same material so they could level up in the summer before law school and then use the test at the end of that experience to measure and predict how well they'll do in law school. I'm a first-year instructor of law students, so they come straight to what we call 1L with a wide variety of backgrounds. So unlike medical school where everyone takes the same key courses like organic chemistry, you can come to a JD program from English literature or from calculus or from chemistry or any particular field. So that I found that students were really wildly different prepared for law school. Some already had been reading cases, others had never even seen a case before. And so we were looking for a way to help all the students sort of get to the same level to be ready to start law school. And then we also were looking for a way through the admissions process assure that everyone was ready for law school and that we were able to select students not just based on what we call their background capital, which can be disparate. We're really teaching the fundamental skills that will be valuable in any law school course. So that very first week of law school, you're not scrambling trying to figure out what is this weird document that I've never been asked to read before, an appellate case maybe from the 1800s. Instead, you're able to go straight to the point. What's the legal holding? What facts are important? And that is such an advantage through the whole first half of the 1L year to be that one step ahead, ready to learn from day one. I'm really excited about the science behind JD Next because it's something we've been working on for over 5 years, and of financial support from the Access Lex Institute and ETS. We've been managed to publish 4 scientific peer-reviewed papers over these 5 years involving 30 different law schools all over the country at different metrics levels and thousands of students. And what we've shown in one set of the papers is that the course JD Next actually works. That we have a measurable benefit in law school performance for students that have undertaken the course. And we initially did this as a randomized experiment, and then later did it in a case control design and ran it all through peer review. And we're very excited to have replicated that finding that if you go through the JD Next course, you get about a 0.2 GPA increase in your law school performance. And that can really be the difference between being at the top of the class or the middle of the class. It can be the difference between summer jobs or not. With the JD Next score, we don't see these huge racial disparities that infect what I call the legacy exams. And that is really a game changer, that we're able to measure students' learning potential without merely baking in all the social inequities that infect the legacy exams. So scientifically then, JD Next as a credential, first of all, can reassure the student that they've completed JD Next and the admissions office that they have this boost. They're more likely to succeed in law school. We've shown scientifically that the JD Next exam does not have these large racial disparities, and they are large by statistical terms. On the LSAT, for example, their own data shows it's an 11-point gap between black test takers and white test takers, 2 standard deviations. And so we've been able to reduce that to statistically insignificant levels. I think law schools are just now trying to figure out how to respond to the Supreme Court's decision last summer, which says that they can no longer figure race explicitly into their admissions policies. But last summer, that was 2023, the SFFA case versus Harvard and UNC. And so one thing that law schools are looking for, they've come to us to ask about, is how can we measure student performance without big racial disparities, because we can no longer adjust for those disparities in our admissions decisions. So we need to make sure our metrics are unbiased in the first place. So I think that's an important thing for law school admissions. The second really important thing for law school admissions is the rankings have also changed just in the last year. And of course, it's regrettable how much deans and admissions offices have to pay attention to rankings, but they do. And so they're looking for ways to admit a class that's likely to pass the bar and get employed. So there too, I think they're looking for metrics that predict those sorts of success and predict success through law school, because that's the best indicator. And so I think they're going to be looking for things that are a closer link between the metric and the outcome. And that's really what we've designed JD Next to do.